Welcome to Tonks and Tales, ladies and gentlemen. We're behind the bar with Paul Starr, brought to you by William Hill, the proud sponsor of the World Darts Championship. It's Premier League time. It all starts in Leeds, ends up 16 weeks later in the O2 in London. £700,000 worth of prize money, 200,000 of that goes to the winner. And when you look back at 2005, we had 7 players started off. We had Colin Lloyd, he made the final, Peter Manley, Roland Sholton, Mark Dubbridge, John Park, Wayne Mardell, and of course, you know, Phil Taylor. He won it in the first year. In fact, he's won it 6 times. We've seen 6 9-dart checkouts, 1 from Whitlock, 2 from Barney, and of course 3 from Phil Taylor. And of course, who will ever forget the 2 he hit in the 2010 final against James Wade. After the announcement of the 2015 Premier League lineup, we spoke to Bristol's very own Steve Brown and his opinion on this year's selections. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Paul.
You okay?
Yes, thanks.
Good, good. If you don't mind, just roll over the Premier League picks for 2015. Obviously, you're not in it.
Yeah,
but,
I was disappointed. Yeah.
yeah, because I thought you were in a wild card.
Yeah, I was waiting for the call, but it never came. No.
Not a really wild card. But on a serious note, obviously Michael Van Gogh, he is world's #1. We've got #2, of course, Phil Taylor. World's #3 now, Gary Anderson. I mean, he's had a fantastic year, hasn't he?
He's had a great 6 months. Yeah, superb. Yeah, played really well. I was really impressed in the World Championships. You know, to be fair, I think that he was a worthy champion that week.
Yeah, and the thing is with Gary, he's won the last 3 PDC events, Pro Tour 20, down in Butlins in the Players' Championship, and then of course the Worlds. And he's beat Taylor a couple of times, Lewis, Van Gogh, Peter Wright a couple of times, Wade. You know, he's not had an easy route. So I'm looking here. He's 565,800 last 2 years, but he's hardly defending anything. So he can maybe even push on from there.
Yeah, looking at what people are defending over the next sort of 12 months. Yeah, if his form continues, then there's no reason he can't push in maybe 2 or maybe #1.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Adrian makes up the 4th place as the automatic picks, and then of course we have 6 sort of wild cards. Peter Wright was last year's world finalist. So and he's great for Premier League, isn't he? The way he.
I think Peter Wright was a shoe-in for the Premier League this year. I think again, I think Barry's got it spot on. I think maybe Robert Thornton had a case to be picked, but you know, I think with Kim Ibrex, I think Kim's explosive. He's good to watch on TV. You know, celebrates well. Yeah. So yeah, I think Barry's I think Peter was a shoe-in. I think Barry's got it right. Yeah. So Peter Wright, James Wade, he's back because he won the Masters. So. He's won a tournament. He made I think the final of the Grand Prix as well. So he's back and he's playing well, James. So he deserves that place. Yeah, I think James has been a great turnaround for James in the last sort of 6-12 months. He's endeared himself to the crowd again. Yeah. No, I think he's been a pleasure to watch, and you know he's a nice guy as well, James. So I'm really pleased for him.
Yeah, and of course Raymond. He's now to #10 in the world because Raymond is he's the holder, so he had to be, and I think there's no doubt there. Dave Chisholm, would you say Dave a little bit lucky?
Dave's box office, isn't he? So you know, he hits loads of 180s, so he's great for the punter as well. Yeah. No, I think Dave was a shoe-in as well.
Yeah, okie doke. And like we mentioned, obviously Kim Ibrex, he celebrates well, like you mentioned, gets on Phil's nerves even better. No disrespect to Phil, but that's what the fans want to see.
Yeah, of course they do. They want someone to ruffle feathers, don't they? You know, and you know, by celebrating, I mean I've watched old clips on Sky over the Christmas of players, you know, Bristow and that in his heyday, and you know, they all give it laurels, don't they? Yeah. Really? Do you know what I mean? It's not a new thing. It's been around for years. So I mean, I think these players should be celebrated.
Yeah, that's right. And of course. So the European darts getting bigger in Europe, obviously they come from Belgium. It all helps the package. Stephen Bunting, world's #24, which is a really good achievement. He only came over last year, 1 year, and I'm looking at his money, £129,250. It's ifs and buts, but if he doubles that, and the draws will be easier in tournaments, he could be in the top 6 in the world next year.
Yeah,
ifs and buts,
I've got to be honest. I mean, I was when he came over, I was interested to see how he'd get on, and to be fair, I think he's silenced any critics that he had, and I think he's turned into a really good stage player. Yeah. And the more he plays on stage, I think he could go in real deep in the business end of tournaments. Yeah.
And you know all about first round horrible draws and second round, you know, because you had a run of them. And say he's thinking in the World Championship, you know, James in the second round, Michael Smith in the third round, Barney. I mean, it's absolutely evil. But it's the higher you get up the rankings, then the draw should become a little bit nicer, should we say?
Yeah, I think so. And also, I think he's come from the BDO side of things. And he was, you know, he has great success in the BDO. So I think he come for the confidence on television, which I think really helped him and put him in good stead.
Yeah, the players who have missed out, who had sort of, had a chance or had a claim. Simon Whitlock, world's number 7, and Robert Thornton, world's number 8. If you were either of those people, a bit disappointed?
I think so. I think you would naturally, but I mean, again, I think Simon's form's dipped in the last 6 months. I don't think he can have too many complaints. Obviously, the Order of Merit's done over 2 years, so. But on form, I don't think Simon can complain too much. I'm surprised, obviously, because of the television rights in Australia and stuff. But I'm surprised he didn't get a pick. But again, Robert Thornton, he's probably really disappointed.
Yeah, because he's a great player.
He's got one of the best walk-on songs.
Yeah,
as well,
that's right. The 500 miles. So he's world's number 8, and a couple of other names. Terry Jenkins, who he'd done the business over Michael a couple of times in the UK and the players down at Butlins.
Yeah, strange one, Terry, because every time you sort of think he's going to pack it in and walk away, he's a wealthy man, I think. So, but yeah, every time I think he's fading away. So he's come back stronger. Yeah, he keeps coming back. So, yeah, I think Terry might have thought he's in with a chance. Yeah.
Mervyn King.
Merv's played very well. He's, the last 6 months he's been phenomenal, really.
He's back, isn't he?
Yeah, I know he had a lot of trouble with his he's had his injuries, hasn't he? And I know he put a lot of effort into trying to get himself a bit fit at the beginning of the year. I think that's paid off for him. Yeah.
And then perhaps one other name within reason, Michael Smith, the former World Youth Champion. Of course, he beat Phil in last year's World Championship. He can beat anyone, but maybe just a year too early, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think if he's progressing the way he has done, I think next year, I think if he can get to some sort of quarterfinals, semi-finals on a TV stage, then I'm sure that he'll be in either by merit or with a wild card.
Yeah, great stuff. Okay, and then next year, Steve Brown will be a wild card.
Well, my goal next year